We are getting a look now at the devastation left behind after the massacre at that music festival outside of Gaza. This was one of the first targets of Hamas gunmen who crossed into Israel early Saturday.
Thousands of people were there at the time having a party. A local rescue organization says more than 200 were killed, others reportedly abducted. Dr. Shlomo Gensler is a volunteer with United Hatzalah. It's an organization that sends medical and emergency crews across Israel. He joins us now. Doctor, thank you so much for being with us. Dr. Gensler, appreciate it. I know you were working at the ICU, or you are at the ICU now in Jerusalem, right? But you were on Saturday on call and called to help with the victims around the music festival. What did you see? What was it like?
Okay, thank you, Kate, for having me. So basically, I was at home with my kids on Saturday, spending some quality family time, and then I get the call that there's been we first initially get some sirens for incoming rockets coming in from Gaza into Jerusalem area, and then this organization that I'm part with, which you can see the car behind me, they called me to see if I can help consult with people that are trapped as hostages down on the border of Gaza. Initially, I spoke with one person that was there. That family was trapped in a safe room. And they basically, the father had his hands and legs blown off. I'm sorry if it's a bit graphic, just to give a little bit more of the picture. They were trapped, and I was able to hear rapid gunfire behind them. And they were trying to say that he was losing consciousness and they needed some help to evacuate. I tried to get them evacuation. It was unable to, and none of the resources were available to evacuate them. After that, the organization requested that if I can go down and try to help out in any way possible. I then went down to the staging area close to the Gaza border, a little bit of a distance away from the fighting, and slowly we went in. When I did go there, I was a bit shocked to see, and honestly, I've seen a lot of different stuff in my career, and I was not prepared to see, honestly, the devastation and carnage. It literally, the words that I can tell you is like literally carnage and people laying all around murdered and executed. And it was something that was very, very hard to see the lack of humanity and the lack of caring for other human beings. And with the people that I saw there were lots of civilians just lined on the road, executed, laying in piles, and just lots of demolition and destruction. And that was the initial outset. After that, we went further into the area, and we set up a triage center as close as possible to the fighting. And over there, we basically set up a center where we did emergency treatment, basically treating people with life-saving measures, whether it's intubation or chest decompression, and sending people off on helicopters to the hospital, one after the other. And honestly, I can say I've never seen such a disdain for humanity in the way that they went ahead with treating people.
Dr. Gensler, I know that there was also some personal ties that you had here, a family member who was at the festival enjoying this party, as Kate had mentioned. We've heard such harrowing stories of escape there, people hiding in bushes, things like that. How is she doing? How did she get out? What did she see?
Okay, so she's obviously extremely devastated right now. It's my wife's cousin, and she's extremely devastated now. It's been extremely traumatic. But what she described is they were initially at this festival, and all of a sudden, like these paragliders, motorized paragliders came in, and she then saw them starting to fire as they were descending down. And then once they got down to the ground, they just opened fire on people, executing people one by one, and they were laughing as they were doing it. And it still sticks with her. She says to me, and I apologize for the description, she saw bodies jumping as they were riddled with bullets. And then even afterwards, I found a lot of reports as she, after that, ran into the bushes and luckily escaped. She ran for a bunch of miles until she met some Israeli soldiers who took her to a point to be evacuated. But she luckily escaped by a thin thing, and she had a lot of friends that she lost in that. And as you can imagine, she's completely at utter loss and she's very traumatized from the event.
Dr. Shlomo Gensler, I can't thank you enough for just sharing your account of what you saw, because we haven't talked to that many people who were there and had the angle that you had on everything. Thank you for being with us.
I just want to add one more thing. I'm just here in Jerusalem now at the hospital that we're treating at Hadassah Hospital, Hadassah University Hospital, where we're treating many of the wounded that are coming from there as well. So we're getting to see, this is a hospital that's outside of the South that's accepting a tremendous amount of patients and treating, and I'm getting to see the other side, what I saw there and initially treated, to what I'm seeing here it's still a very devastating effect, and this hospital is really manned up to it and is really helping a lot of people.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that. Dr. Shlomo Gensler, thank you so much for your time, and best to your family.